Hi, everybody. My name is Ivan, and today we are very honored to have Mr. Chee Woon Tze, Lego designer from Denmark, that's residing in Denmark with us. Hi, Woon Tze.
Hello, Ivan.
Hello. Thank you very much for having this interview with Singapore Brickfest 2021. I'm sure there are many viewers that are very interested in the sharing that you have with us. And without further ado, I would like to invite you to have an introduction of yourself. Hi, Wenji. Yeah, please carry on.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chee Woon Tze. I'm from Singapore, and I'm currently working as a Lego senior designer in Billund, Denmark. I have been with the company for about 5 years now. I started off with the superhero team and then eventually got moved to the IP team. I have worked on projects such as Lego Ideas, Superheroes, Overwatch, Minions, Harry Potter, and Jurassic World. Some of the sets that you might be familiar with includes the Lego Ideas Grand Piano, the Hogwarts Clock Tower, and the Hogwarts Express. I'm very honored and excited to be here. It's very unfortunate that I cannot be there physically because it would have been amazing to be home and to be meeting all of you.
Definitely. We totally agree that we would really love to invite you to back to Singapore and to see you in person. And the fans in Singapore would definitely love to see you in person as well. And the sets that you have mentioned, I have most of them other than the piano, because of the price point wise, it's slightly expensive in Singapore. But one day I will be looking into having it as well. So thank you for the sharing. Let's go on to the next question. Out of all these sets that you have designed, I'm pretty sure there's one particular set that is your favorite, and we would like to know why this set is your favorite.
Well, my favorite set, it's definitely going to be the recently released Batmobile Tumbler Scarecrow Showdown, as this has a very long name. If I'm going to design only one set in my entire career, this will be the set. That is because the Tumbler was the very first mock I've made back in 2014 as an AFOL. As you know, the Tumbler wasn't exactly the easiest car to replicate with Lego bricks. So it was rather daunting task for me at the time, since I was just a beginner and I really didn't have much experience building with Lego. In the end, it took me a long time just to finish the model. It was at the time when I first learned about the Lego Digital Designer program, in which I can build freely without having to physically own all the bricks. It was also at the time where I first learned about Bricklink, where I can purchase loose bricks for my creations. I also joined many of the fan community and got to know some great friends. And that's where we started this group, Titan's Creation. Back then, I was working as an architect, and I have a very young family, so I don't really have a lot of free time. I ended up having to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, just so I get to work for about 2 to 3 hours before getting to work. Thinking back, that was a little bit crazy, but definitely worth it. After completing the model, I even submitted it to Lego Ideas, which unfortunately did not get the 10,000 votes needed. I did, however, develop a very, very strong passion for Lego, which is what led me to apply for this job eventually. So ever since I got here, I've brought the model from my home and sort of put it among all the other sketch models in the office, kind of hoping that one day maybe someone might think it's a good idea to release it as a set. Eventually, as you know, we released the 89 Batmobile, followed by the 66 Batmobile. So I was having quite some high hopes there. And you can imagine how excited I was when it finally happened. When I was developing the model, it triggered many of the feelings I had when I was first designing it. I basically have to redesign the whole car because many of the solutions I came up with as a fan just wouldn't pass the Lego standards. What I used to thought was a very accurate representation just really didn't seem that way now. So, for example, like the side of the car needed to be sort of angled outwards, or the front of the tire of the car is just a little bit too small. Luckily, I have gained a little bit more of design experience, and I'm fairly happy how it turned out. Seeing the box in store now and holding it in my hands and knowing that there are people out there enjoying the build really means a lot to me, and it brings back a lot of memories.
I guess the same set really brings back a lot of memories for me as well, because I recall that's how I get to know you. I actually approached you on Lego ideas, and that's how our friendship started. If you recall, I think that's back in 2014, is that correct?
Yeah, I think back then there wasn't a lot of Singapore's submission on Lego ideas, and I was also watching your submission at the same time. I remember the
Yeah, we were just looking out for each other, and I also observed that you have a list of designs that sets of design that you have on the brick set. And for this particular tumbler, one of the challenge that, or one of the maybe behind the scenes story is that the 3 windscreen story. Maybe you can share a little bit more on this story.
Yeah, the original element that I used for the windscreen was also the same element I used in my mock, which has a really interesting shape. For the car, it only has 2 studs for connection, so it wasn't really giving me the clutch we need. And it was during one of the casual discussion with the design master Mike Psyche over here, that he kind of joked and said, wouldn't it be funny if we try to cram 3 windscreen in there? Because the windscreen that he's talking about also gives the right angle to the windscreen. And it was just a joke that he mentioned, and he find it, he was laughing about it. But imagine our surprise when I tried to put it in, and it turns out that's the actual solution we went for.
Does it happen often? Sometimes when the solution is just started as a joke for other designs?
It happens a lot. Yes, that's very, very common, where you're just having a discussion with a fellow designer and someone might just give us suggestions, and that turns out to be the way to go. And that's one of the best part working here. It's you always get to talk to people about things, and people are always willing to share. So yeah, often a solution to a problem can easily be just a very casual discussion among designers.
I see. I can really imagine all the synergy with all the different designers coming in together to design a particular set. That's really something that, as a fan, as well as someone that is doing a lot of mock, look forward to. Yeah. So thank you for the sharing on your favorite set. I guess the next question that we would like to check in with you is, what is your favorite element, Lego element, that you always put into your set?
Well, I know there are designers with certain favorite elements that they really like to work on. But for myself, I don't really think I do have any particular favorite brick. This is because when I'm working on a model, I tend to use whatever that best suit what I'm trying to achieve. Since every model is different, I tend to approach them very differently. Very often, I even find myself using certain elements that I might not have even used before. And I think that's what makes it fun, you know. It's the joy of discovering a new way of building, or finding a new solution to a problem. Back to what we talked about just now, you know, often you're just talking to someone and a solution just presents itself. And that's the joy. Especially working in the IP team, I really enjoy finding, you know, that one piece of elements that look as close as possible to the source material. And usually that would be that one piece, or my favorite piece in that model. So with that in mind, I don't think I will ever have just one particular favorite element, you know. Depending on the model and depending what I want, I think the solution would be what I'm very happy with. Having said that, I do think some of the decorative elements are very interesting. For example, the 2x2 or 2x3 plate with bow. This is because they have a very unique shape and contour that you don't normally otherwise see in other Lego bricks. And not only that, they are among the few elements that are 2-plate high. So I find them very useful in situations where you may need the height, but you don't necessarily want to stack 2 plates together, because we all know how difficult it is to try and remove 2 plates of the same size and the same shape tightly stacked together.
Well, there's always a brick separator. If one is not enough, you can use 2, if that helps. Yeah. Okay, thank you for your sharing. I guess the last question we want to check in with you, which is our Singaporean favorite pastime as well. What is your favorite Singapore food that you probably will be missing right now?
It's very difficult just to pick one, honestly, because I like so many of them. I mean, whenever I visit a hawker center back then, I like to order many different things, and so that the whole family can try and share them. And I think that's what's great. It's the variety and the options of the Singapore food that we have. Every time my colleague here asks what is so special about Singapore, or what would I recommend to them if they ever visit, I always say the food. You have to try all our food, and that's what I really miss. All the options and the varieties and the choices and the affordable prices, especially the convenience. How conveniently you can just walk downstairs and buy dinner if you don't feel like cooking, or if you have no time to cook at all. So I mean, it's if I really have to pick one, I go for spicy food. I can never go wrong with spicy food. I like spicy food, and I think at this point you've made me really miss Singapore food.
I'm sorry, I probably will. Okay, the reason why we were asking you this question is, of course, when we are looking forward to 2022, when you can come back to Singapore, hopefully, we'll be bringing you to your favorite hawker center to really enjoy all the different Singapore food that we can actually bring you to. So that's why we are asking you this question. But at the same time, yes, I agree that it is probably triggering some homesickness, which is not the reason why we want to ask you this question. But definitely we will be looking into bringing you to all your favorite food places in Singapore when you're back here.
Yeah, I look forward to that. And whenever I go home, that's what I do. I never miss one of those opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, with that, thank you so much for having this interview with Singapore Brickfest 2021. Is there any parting words that you have for our audience today?
I will have to say something that's really cliche, but as cliche as it might sound, it's true. I like people to not give up on their dream, consistently work towards it, even if it's just little by little. Keeps believing in it, so that you will be ready when opportunity shows itself, because that was what I did.
So for those who are listening to right now, if your aspiration is to be a Lego designer like Woon Tze, do listen to his advice, keep going at it. One day you might become a Lego designer in the future. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.